guys, Barbara here. Tired of paper-based forms? Google Forms will change your life. Gone are the days when collecting data from a paper-based form is a realistic way to work. It's time-consuming for the person filling the form in, as well as admin-intensive for those who need to capture the data. Let's not forget about the potential of human error when transferring data from a paper-based form to a digital interface. Google Forms will transform the way you view data and will ensure great user experience to anyone who fills out the form. There are simple steps that you can put into place that will make your forms accessible and quick to fill in on any device. In this video, we'll have a look at the Forms interface and explore the first steps that you will take on getting your form set up. Let's have a look. From Google Chrome, head to your waffle and select Google Forms. Alternatively, type in forms.google.com into your Omnibox. The Google Forms landing page will open. Here, you will see an audit trail of all the forms that you have worked on over time. You can sort them by those owned by you to those owned by others. You are able to view this area in both Grid View and List View. Simply use this to change between them. At the top of this landing page is where you will find your template gallery. It can be nice to see how other forms have been set up for some inspiration or speedy creation. Here you will find order forms, customer feedback forms, contact information, event registration, and more. You can customize them to suit your needs and make them look like your own. Any forms that have specific branding, you will find that in the tab next to this general section. Use the arrow to close your template gallery. On the left-hand side, you have your menu, where you will be able to access the other Google Workspace tools. In the center at the top is where you are able to search for a form by simply typing the name of the form. On each of the forms that appear here, you will notice the 3 little dots. From these 3 dots, you can rename your form, send it to trash, or open it in a new tab. Let's head into creating a new form. Open a new blank form from this plus icon over here. This is the Google Forms interface where you will build your Google form. Like all of the Google Workspace tools, in the top left is where you will give your form a name. A top tip from our mascot is to get into the habit of always doing this step first. If you don't have a title in your form, you run the risk of sending out an untitled form, and no one wants to receive an untitled form. In order to name your form, simply click into the space and type in your title. Notice as I click away, the form title automatically pulls through to here too. This is a handy feature. However, you don't need to have these two to match. If you wanted to use a different naming convention for the form in Google Drive, you can differentiate these two titles. You will notice that now that your form has a name, the folder icon appeared. Here, you can file your form within Google Drive or star it to move it to the starred section of Google Drive. In the top right-hand corner, you will see a few more icons. We cover sending and settings in our other videos, so be sure to check those out. Google Forms automatically creates a purple form, but you don't want every form you send to be purple. We are going to explore this palette icon to see how you can customize your form color and your form banner. When you click on this icon, a side panel will open on the right-hand side. Here, you can change the theme color of your form by choosing one of these standard colors, or by adding a custom color to your color palette. You can also change this background area from here. Whatever your theme color is will determine the options that you have available here. There are a few font options to choose from when creating a Google form. Currently, these are the only font options available. If you don't want your form to only be a color and you want to add an image as a header to your form, you can do that too. This gives your form a much nicer feel. Sometimes a picture can make all of the difference. On the top of the side panel is the option to choose an image. When you select that, a window will open. Here, you will see that Google has a number of images that you can choose from. These images are grouped into themes on the left-hand side. Some of these headers even have some movement, which can be a fun element to add into your form. When you choose one of these, you will be given the option to insert. Your new header will now be added to your form. Notice how the theme colors have automatically been adjusted? Google uses its machine learning to pick up the colors in the image. This helps to keep your forms looking sharp. If you don't want to use the images from Google's library, you can choose to upload your own image as well. Select Choose an Image and navigate to the Upload tab. Here, you will be able to browse your computer for images. Notice how when I upload an image, I can only choose a certain section of that image. If you are happy to crop a certain section of an image as you have just seen, that isn't a problem. However, if you would like to create your own custom header, you can do that too. All you need to do is create a new Google drawing from Google Drive. Adjust the page size of your drawing to be 3230 pixels by 826 pixels. This will ensure that your header is high quality and fits into that space. Design your header image as you need and then download it as a PNG. You will now be able to upload that PNG to your form. Notice how this header now fits perfectly into this space. There isn't really anything to crop off. If you are using images as your header, be sure to use high-quality ones that won't look distorted. A top tip from our mascot is to use sites like Pixabay, Pexels, and Unsplash to find high-quality images that won't lose their resolution when made bigger. Your form is now looking great, and you are ready to get started with adding in the content. Close your theme panel on the right-hand side. This top section here is where your form title will appear as you saw earlier. Here, you have a section for a form description. In this area, write a brief overview of what this form is for. Doing this will ensure that anyone who fills out the form understands what the purpose of that form is. You will notice that you already have an untitled question. When you click into this space, you will be able to begin typing out your first question. If you are not creating an anonymous form, the best question to start with in any of your form creations is for a name and a surname. You will see that this is currently a multiple choice question. Name and surname can't be multiple choice question. From the little drop-down arrow on the question, you will be able to change the type. You will see many options that appear here. The next video in this series, Understanding the Question Options in Google Forms, goes into detail about each of these question types and how to use them, so be sure to check that out. Name and surname will be a short answer question. This is your form build side, so you'll be unable to type into this section over here in this preview. We will preview our form in a bit to see what it is looking like. At the bottom of each question that you add, you will see these icons. The first icon is a copy icon. If you click on this icon, it will simply duplicate the question. I could now split out the name and surname to each be their own question. If you have added a question by mistake or no longer need a question, use this trash icon over here. This will simply delete the question for you. If this is a compulsory question and has to be answered, be sure to toggle this button over here. Doing this will make the question required, and whoever is filling the form out will be unable to submit it until this question is answered. The 3 dots here vary depending on the option that you have selected. We cover these details in our Understanding the Question Options video. To the side of your question is a little panel. It is on this panel that you will be able to add in a new question, import questions from other forms, insert a title or description, add an image within the form itself, add in a video or a new section. We have a video on using sections in Google Forms. Be sure to check that out too. When you click on the plus, a new question will be added. You will continue to do this until you have all the questions that you need. If you have already created a form and you have questions in that form that you would like to use, when you use your importing option, the forms in your Google Drive will open. Find the form that you are looking for and choose it. The questions that are in that form will open on the right-hand side. You can choose which question you would like to add by simply selecting the little checkbox. Alternatively, you could choose to select all. When you have the questions that you need, choose to import questions. Those questions will now be added to your form. If you want to add a title and a description to your form instead of creating a whole new section, you can do that from here. You will be given the option to add in a new title and a description. You will then be able to continue with inserting your questions. If you have questions that are appearing in the wrong order, use this icon to drag them around and to reorder them. When you insert an image into a form, you will notice that you have a number of options to choose from. You can upload an image, use your camera, by URL, Google Photos, Google Drive, or alternatively to search for one using Google Image Search. When you have found the image that you would like, choose to insert. Your image will now be inserted. You will see at the top of your image is an area to add in your image title. When you insert an image, it does not give you an answer options to that image or a question option. In order to ask a question about the image, you will need to add in a new question below. You can adjust the size of your image if you would like to, and from the 3 dots that appear on the image, you can align it to wherever you would like it to be. If you would like to insert a video into your form, you can do that from here. From this window, you will be able to search for a video on YouTube or add in a video URL. Currently, you cannot use videos in your Google Drive. If you need a video that you have created, you can always upload it to YouTube and share it privately, or alternatively to have it unlisted so that it is not visible on YouTube. Find the video that you would like to insert, click on it, and choose Select. Your video will now be inserted. Be sure to give it a title. Adding questions for videos works the same way as we have just seen for images.
The final thing we will cover in this screencast is how to preview your form. It is important to preview your form as you build it. This helps you to get an idea of what the end user experience will be. Let's see how to do just that.
In the top right-hand corner of your form, you will see a little eye. When you click on this little eye, it will open a new tab. This is a preview of what your form will look like when you send it out. Here, you can scroll through the questions that you have set up, check to see that it is in the right order, and that any questions that you wanted to be required have been marked as such. In order to know which questions are required, look for the little red star. This little red star is your compulsory indication. You can even fill your form out from here and see what the experience will be like. When you are done, simply close this tab and you can continue editing or make any changes that you need. It's good practice to continue checking your form as you go.
See, not so scary, right? Don't spend time capturing data in paper-based forms. Rather use your time to focus on tasks that inspire you and make your workspace more meaningful. You really don't want to worry about keeping track of hundreds of papers anyway, do you? Before you send your form, there are some settings that you need to know about. Be sure to watch the other videos in this series as well as the video on settings to ensure that you are ready to send off your forms.